Hello. I've told you about the Aussie bush and beaches. Now it's time to tell you about some of the characters. You've probably heard that Aussies drink a lot of booze. Well, sadly I have to admit that it's true. But some have a rare talent for being able to maintain their sense of humour in the face of adversity. And a perfect example of this was old Bluey. Now Bluey was the town drunk in the little Australian country town where he was born. And one night Bluey was asleep drunk in the gutter when the local police sergeant spotted him. And he walked up to Bluey and he gave him a kick in the ribs. And he said, "Come on Bluey, get up. You can't sleep there." And Bluey didn't even stir. So the sergeant kicked him again. And he said, "Come on Bluey, get up. I told you, you can't sleep there." And still no stir from Bluey. So the sergeant kicked him again, even harder this time. And he said, "Come on Bluey, get up. You're down about as low as you can get now, aren't you?" And at that, Bluey raised his head and said, "No, I'm not, Sergeant. I haven't joined the police force yet." You've got to admit, Bluey was a man with a sense of humour. And whenever I think of Bluey, it always reminds me of Eugene. And Eugene was a lot like Bluey, but he lived in the city. And Eugene was being chased down a city street by a policeman one day. And as the speed of Eugene increased, the policeman called out. And he said, "Stop Eugene, stop." Well, when Eugene heard this, he turned around and said, "You stop, there's nobody chasing you." Naturally, Eugene was brought before the court. And when the magistrate saw Eugene being led in, he said, "Not you again, Eugene. What's brought you before the court this time?" "Two big coppers, your worship," was Eugene's reply. The magistrate just shook his head. He said, "Drunk again, I suppose." "Yes, your worship, the pair of them," said Eugene. After the charges were read, the magistrate asked Eugene if he could give him one good reason why he shouldn't send him to jail. "Yes, your worship," said Eugene. "I've recently got a job." Well, when the magistrate heard this, he nearly fell off his chair laughing, because he knew quite well that Eugene had never done a day's work in his life. But anyway, he said, "All right, what is this job that you've got, Eugene?" And Eugene said, "It's ring barking trees, your worship." "Okay," the magistrate said. "Where is this ring barking job?" And Eugene's reply was, "One Tree Hill, your worship." You've got to admit, Eugene had a persistent sense of humour. See you next time. Bye for now.